Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Janine McGowan, and I design cross stitch as the blue flower. I've got Mosaic here in the office. Let's see, oops, right down there on her dog bed to join us this morning. It's a beautiful morning here in Nevada, and I hope you're off to a good start for your weekend. I'm very informal today. I'm hoping to get a little bit more yard work done maybe this afternoon. It's a little too soon for planting here. More about that later. But I've got some cold hardy shrubs that need to go into pots and some pots from last year that need a little bit of top dressing just to get started while we can. So jumping right into stitching in action, Trisha has submitted 2 things for us today. She's been working through a Greyhound year design and doing a couple of blocks each year for some friends of hers who have greyhounds. So that's always near and dear to my heart. And she stitched them on raw 40 count linen, and the finishing was done by her LNS, Tomorrow's Heirlooms. And they just look so beautiful and springy. I love them. I love the way that they're done individually. I love everything about it. I'm feeling very pink and springy today, as you'll see while we go on. So thank you so much, Trisha, for sharing those. All right, what I'm stitching, still working on the Pilsner Memorial Sampler. This is Marianne Mitton from Marywind Farm, and again, it's tough to get a really good picture of the original. That's a start. I did get a little bit of stitching done, not a ton. I'm wrapping up the things for Quilter Station, so not a lot of time, but here we go. A little bit back so you can see everything, and I've been working on mostly the text this past 2 weeks. So a little bit better look at the colors there. I'm really loving this. When I get more done, I'll take a proper picture of the whole thing, you know, with good lighting so you can get a better sense of it. But yeah, chipping away. I don't think I'll take it with me to Quilter Station because it's a big piece and I have a lot of threads that I'm swapping in and out. So I'll probably just take something small and travel appropriate for that trip next weekend. So that's what I'm working on. On to Stash Spotlight. This week I have the latest in the xJudesigns Fabric of the Month collection. This is Cola. It's a little bit tricky to see, but not too bad. Let's see if we can get better light down here. Anyway, it does actually kind of look the color of Cola, which surprised me, and I was thinking about it. I know you can dye with coffee or tea, but I've never actually dyed anything with soda. I don't know if you would. Maybe, or would it work? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a beautiful color of linen, and I look forward to that. I don't really drink soda, but it's a nice color. The other little stash spotlight I have, and I can't believe I didn't show this last time, was a Wombat. I've got a Wombat needleminder from Mad About Minders, which looks very nice on this Cola linen. Oops, covering his face there. There we go. But since I've got the Wisdom of Wombats in Punch Needle Magazine this month, I thought I should show off my little Wombat needle binder. Not that Wombats are little, they're not, they're substantial, but I've got a little version of one. All right, on to the world around, and I apologize if we get some ruckus. The dogs are in morning mode, and Mosaic in particular loves walking. She loves walking more than just about anything in the world, and she'll start, you know, coming in and agitating for someone to take her somewhere. Hello, precious. What you doing? So, on to the world around, and this week it is Peavine Mountain in Washoe County, where I live. This is the highest peak in Washoe County, although not the highest peak in the Reno area, because we have the mountains around Tahoe, which are right outside the county on Mount Rose. Good for skiing. That's just over 8,200 feet. All of this I learned this past week because I was looking at Peavine Mountain. It's more used for mountain and biking and hiking than for skiing because it's in the rain shadow of the Sierras, and so it gets very little snow cover, and the snow cover that it does get is actually quite unreliable. There was a piece in the local paper a few years ago. I'm gonna have to pause here because Rye is trying to eat a chair, so I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. This is the world around section, and the world around my desk was a little bit ruckusy for a few minutes, so we took a little break, but here we are again. And Peavine Mountain, back to Peavine. It does get some snow, but as I was saying, there's a piece in the paper about how unpredictable the snow is and the reason it's not great for skiing. Essentially, you could, even in the heaviest snow cover of winter, because the mountain is so windy and gets lighter snow, you could be cross-country skiing up, have your lunch, and by the time you turn around to go down, the snow that you skied up in has moved to a different section of the mountain. It actually reminded me of a place where I lived when I was younger called Peerless, Montana, which is in the middle of the great open plain area of Montana, and the wind from Canada would just come down pretty much all the time. But I remember we had very heavy snow once, and our car outside was covered in snow. And then a few minutes later, the wind had moved all the snow that was on the car, this huge drift, over. So the car was completely clear, giant pile of snow in another place, just because the wind was moving it around. And Peavine is apparently the same way. Peavine was named, or the modern name for the mountain comes from the fact that pea vines grew wild around Peavine Springs, because it's just not a good name unless it's very, very clear. So I enjoy that. But also the mountain and the area contains a lot of archaeological evidence of Great Basin civilizations dating back 2,000 years. So it's been an area where people have lived for quite some time. Now, the reason that I'm going on this great tangent about Peavine Mountain is because locally, you know when it's safe to plant, vegetables and seedlings when the snow is off of Peavine. So when Peavine is clear of snow, right around June 1st generally, it's pretty much okay to plant your bedding plants. So that's the reason we're all watching Peavine right now, to see if it's time to plant. Question for you then would be, what sort of local landmarks do you have? Don't have to be weather related or anything like that, but I'd love to hear from you. What's something local that you keep an eye on or just enjoy seeing, or has a bit of history in it that you appreciate? So I'd love to hear in the comments from you about your local landmarks. All right, best thing this week is curry paste. I tried a recipe in the past 2 weeks that was a new recipe to me, and it basically was a lot of ground meat tossed with curry paste. And I've used curry paste in the past just as, a tablespoon in a recipe here with a bunch of other things. This is the first time that the recipe really just said you put the meat in with a gracious plenty, an exorbitant amount of curry paste. And it was so delicious. So now I'm like, we're going to have everything with curry paste for the foreseeable. Well, I try all kinds of different flavors and maybe someday even make my own, but we'll see. So that was my, it's always nice to find a recipe that you can make quickly from things that you have on hand. I always appreciate that kind of food. And if everybody likes it, it's an even better bonus. So that was my find. All right, giveaway. Last week, the giveaway was this book here, Embroidered Stories, our last video. And the winner of this one is Crystal Cross Stitcher. So Crystal, if you send me a message with your address, I will get this in the mail to you and you can start enjoying it. Thank you all for the good story comments. I really enjoyed those. And then this time for giveaway, I have this fabric that I found, and it's actually a Blackbird Designs fabric. The name is Hyde Park, I believe, and I found it at my local fabric store, Windy Moon Quilts, when I was looking for things for backing fabric for the Quilter Station event. And I found this great because you can see it's got little cross stitches, and isn't that fun? I was initially going to use it as the backing fabric for the kits, but I ended up deciding to do 2 of the designs as pillows rather than 1, and my local shop didn't have enough of this fabric to do both of them. So I have a couple yards of this, and I'm going to share a yard with you. If you just use the word Blackbird in your comments, I will send you a yard of this lovely pink springy cross stitch fabric for whatever you want to use it for. So I look forward to hearing that. All right, finally, as I said, we're charging through this weekend. 2 announcements. I'll be at Quilter Station next weekend. I don't know if they have still 1 or 2 spots left for attending that, but it should be a great event. I'm really looking forward to it. And it'll be my first time to the Kansas City, Missouri area, so that's fun as well. Second announcement, Rye today is 2 years old, so she is officially not a puppy. Now you wouldn't know that since we had to stop the video earlier because she was nibbling on a chair, But I think we can officially say that we have survived a Greyhound puppy. And now she is not a Greyhound puppy. She's just a dog. So happy birthday, Rye. We've got a special birthday puppy video, not very long. Had to make it match up with the music, but I hope you enjoy it. Thank you all so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure to see you, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments with maybe something about blackbirds or a local landmark. Have a great weekend. Bye.